Welcome one, welcome all to episode 12 of the Matty B Show. Today we have a bit of a quiet one. I'm going to be answering some of the biggest, most important questions that you guys have been wondering about me. So, with that being said, let's jump straight into it. Alrighty, welcome back to a brand new episode, everybody. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you've had a fun week. Now, today's episode is going to be a little bit of a shorter, more casual one, and that is because my throat is cooked. So, I haven't mentioned it before, but I work for the university that I go to, and I deliver presentations to kids in schools about being better people and, improving their lives. So I'm talking for hours on end at these students to try and help them. But that, of course, takes a big toll on my voice at times, and I have been working bulk the past couple of weeks. I've been on and on and on and working and working and working, and I think that's finally all starting to catch up to me. And my throat, a little bit sore. I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is a little bit different than usual as well. So I'm going to take this opportunity to make this episode a little bit more of a quiet one, a bit more relaxed, a bit more of a get to know me, if you understand where I'm coming from. And the way that we are going to do this is I am going to be answering some of the biggest, most important questions that the world has ever seen. And hopefully you get to catch my vibe and see where I'm coming from with these questions. And I gotta say, before we jump into them, they are, really, really big, really, really deep, and trust me, you're going to learn quite a lot today. Not to worry, though. We're still going to have what matters right at the end as well. Can't skip our all-time classic Q&A segment. That would just be crazy. So let's not delay any longer. Let's jump into our very first question. So the first question that we have here today is, would you rather only be able to use a fork or only be able to use a spoon? Now, I know what you're thinking, and the answer is yes. This is the level of question that we're going to be looking at today. So strap yourselves in. But I think that the answer is fork. And let me explain why. A fork is so much more versatile than a spoon. A spoon, what can you do? You can pick stuff up, right? You can drink some soup or have some cereal, I guess. But outside of that, bloody useless. You can't use it to pick up things. You can't use it to stab things, right? Maybe if, you got big muscles, you can use it to cut some stuff. But look, fork, you can still do the scoopy stuff. You can pick stuff up with the prongs on the fork, and, it is just overall a much more versatile tool, I feel like. And I think with that being said, you can compensate for not having a spoon, but you can't compensate for not having a fork. Say you're having a soup, that's obviously a spoon-focused meal. You can just drink it straight out of the bowl, right? But if you're having, let's say, a steak, a spoon's not going to help you. You can't just scoop that whole thing up and eat it straight away. That's not how it works. You're going to get, stressed out by trying to eat this entire steak with just a spoon, and that isn't what you need. You're going to need the fork to pin it down so you can cut it and get it all sweet. So that question is definitely fork, and if you disagree with me, make sure you send in an email and say, no, you're wrong, it's a spoon. But I don't think we'll be getting too many of those because it is quite obviously a fork. The fork is the answer to that question. Now, question 2. Would you rather have everything you draw become real, but be permanently bad at drawing, or be able to fly, but only as fast as you walk? Now, this is a tough one, because do you know how many issues you could solve with the drawing thing? Oh, I'm short $5. Let me just draw a $5 note. Bang. Now I've got $5. But with that being said, if you crap at drawing, you that $5 note, it's not going to be legal because it's going to look absolutely crap. So I think that skill, or the drawing skill, might become a little bit redundant because it's just so poor quality. But with the flying thing, that's just cool. Like, I understand you can't fly fast, but who else can fly? Literally no one. Exactly. So, adding an entire new dimension to the way that you can travel and the way that you can move around is sick. And I think even just being able to fly up some stairs, cool. Fly up, a building, get to the roof real quick, awesome. Super handy. Even if it's at a, slow pace, nobody else can do the things that you can, and that is sick. So I would pick being able to fly, but only as fast as you can walk. Great question. Very important. Solving world issues here on the Matty B Show. Question 3. What is the best and worst purchases I have ever made? All right. Let's start off with the best. We'll start on a good note. The best purchase I ever made was investing in a good pair of headphones. For years and years and years and years, I just dealt with crappy $2, in-ear earplug earphones from, Kmart. And sure, they worked well for 10 minutes maybe at best, but outside of that, they were bloody useless, broke straight away. The sound quality was terrible. And last year, finally decided, going to invest in a good pair of headphones, and my God, it was the greatest decision I have ever made in my entire life. I bought some Beats, and bloody hell, noise cancelling. How useful is that? Can't hear anything that anybody says or any background noise whilst I'm wearing them, which is great on the bus, which is great when I'm trying to ignore people. It is awesome. Sound quality, wow. I can hear so many more things in my music now. Crazy. And they're also really helpful for when I'm doing things like the podcast, being able to hear everything I'm saying, being able to hear if there's any little disturbances or background noises, which is, sometimes an issue in the audio form. Oh, that was by far the greatest purchase that I have ever made in my life. And I got them for a discount as well, which was even better. So I probably got them for around half price. Gee, that is, red hot deal on a pair of, really, really nice headphones. So I rate that. But now the worst purchase I've ever made, and we're going to have to take ourselves all the way back to the past when I was probably around 13 or 14 years old. So, couple of years ago at this point. Now, picture young Matty B. Young Matty B was a massive, massive Star Wars fan. And, I loved the idea of becoming a Jedi myself. I tried so hard to, learn the Force. Never worked, which sucked. Wasn't able to pick stuff up with my mind, which to this day I'm still really disappointed about. Still, in my spare time, if I've got a spare couple of minutes, try pick up, a water bottle that's on the other side of the room with my Jedi powers. Hasn't worked yet. Hopefully one day in the future it magically happens. But I also thought it'd be sick to have a lightsaber. And I wanted a lightsaber just so I could, cut stuff. That'd be cool. Look at this brick wall. Bam, it's gone. Use my lightsaber. See you later, alligator, right? Thought that'd be sick. Thought that would be a great tool to have and to use, you know, Swiss Army knife, but it's a lightsaber. And I thought, all right, that's cool. And I was out at the markets with my family one day, and I had my wallet. I had, I don't know, probably $30, you know, saving up for years as a little kid to get that $30, and I was all sweet, all rigid to buy the things that I wanted to buy. You know, I went off on my own with my little brother, and we were just walking around, and you know, there's plants and boring stuff. There's like kids stuff as well, but I thought, you know what, don't need any more of that. There's lolly stuff, don't need any more of that either. There's some, I bought a cool hat, you know, swag, but I get to this store, and it's a guy selling laser pointers, and this laser pointer looked so similar to a lightsaber, and I was like, bro, you're joking. Here we go, lightsaber, I'm a Jedi, I'm gonna buy this, and I am going to, you know, cut stuff in half, right? So I buy this laser pointer. So I had $30, like I said a few minutes ago. I probably spent 25 of my dollars on that laser pointer. So I spent, you know, almost all of my money on this laser pointer, thinking that I was going to become a Jedi. And, you know, I hid it away from my parents because I thought, oh, if they know I have a lightsaber, they might take it off me. Now, when we got home, I was in my room. I was playing with the lightsaber. It was just like a regular, like super high-powered laser pointer, you know, ones that people get arrested for, you know, when they point them at helicopters. It was just one of those laser pointers, and it wasn't a lightsaber at all, but I was pretending it was. And, you know, I don't know how I didn't take my eye out with it, but she'll be right. And I started pointing it at the, you know, fence in our garden, and my mum, she burst into my room and she's like, oh, Matt, do you see what that green, oh, it's you. And I was there with my laser pointer pointing it at the fence, and she takes the laser pointer straight out of my hands, steals it from me, hides it away. She's probably got it hidden away somewhere in the house to this day, but she took it away, said, way too dangerous, you're going to get yourself arrested, or you're going to hurt yourself. And I was like, no, I'm a Jedi, give it back. I spent all my money on that. I am literally broke now because I bought that. You have to give it back. And she said, no. And I lost $25. Now, $25 doesn't seem like a massive amount of money, but consider it this way. Imagine if you spent 80 or 90% of all of your money just to have what you spent it on taken away. That's like losing $900 if you had $1,000. It'd be really crap. And, you know, that hit me hard. By far the worst purchase I've ever made, because to this day, still haven't got a refund, still haven't got my $25 back. Absolute stitch up. Question 4. What is something your brain tries to make you do and you have to stop yourself from doing it? Now, I saw this question. I thought, you know what, that's super cool, because apparently there is a little bit of science to it. So when we think of like silly, super irrational things like, what would happen if I crash my car right now? It's like a defense mechanism in our brain, and our brain's saying, oh, yeah, I'm just letting you know if we did that, that would be bad. It's not like your brain just being crazy, wanting you to kill yourself. It's trying to alert you that there's danger. You know, a bit weird, but that's, I don't know what the scientific name for it is, but it's a real thing. Google it, you know, if you're down, which is super interesting. And many of us have that, like when we're like walking over bridges, and you go, oh, what would happen if I like jumped off this bridge? And, you know, obviously we're not going to jump off the bridge, but I think it'd still be something that we think about all the time. And I know I'm not the only one, so don't act like I am. But for me, it's throwing my phone in the bin. So at uni, when I sit down and eat, you know, have some lunch, and I got some rubbish, so I pack all my stuff up, got my rubbish in one hand, my phone in the other hand, and I go to throw my rubbish in the bin, and 99% of the time my brain will go, what would happen if you accidentally threw your phone into the bin instead of the rubbish? And I've never done it, thankfully, because I wouldn't be able to get into the bin because there's like a little roof thing on it. But I don't know. That's just the thing that I do, and I always have to, stop and think and say, Matt, you're a bloody idiot. Why are you even thinking about this? That is, super dumb, and that is the thing that I have to stop myself from doing. So it's a bit wild, a bit crazy, but that is my little thing that I have to stop myself from doing, which is quite sad, but also, not as bad as trying to crash into a tree. So I'll take it. Question number 5. What secret conspiracy theory would you like to start? Ooh, I mean, there are so many good conspiracy theories out there. There are like some of the real crazy ones, like birds aren't real. I don't know if you guys have heard of this conspiracy theory before, but it's like back in the 70s and 80s, I think people say that it was Ronald Reagan killed all of the birds in the world and replaced them with like drones to survey us. And people think that every bird that's ever existed is just a, tool to spy on us. So that's a bit interesting. So that's great. There are always the classic conspiracy theories, 9/11, moon landing. Nobody believes 9/11 was an actual terrorist attack. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's an inside job. And then the moon landing, everybody also thinks that it's fake. Just your staples, ones that you're gonna remember straight away when thinking of conspiracy theories. And there are also your like super crazy ones. There's one going around at the moment. I see it's quite popular, is that Elon Musk is an alien and SpaceX is the way that he is trying to get back home to his people. He's using our money and our resources to try and get back home to his people because apparently he is an alien. And I mean, might be true. That's the thing with all of these. They might be true, but I'm going to say probably not. Look, he's just not an alien and he's not trying to get back home. Simple as that. And then, of course, just the dumbest of dumb, anti-vax is a great conspiracy theory example. People are just dumb and don't care about the health of their children or the health of themselves or even the health of other people around them. So if you're an anti-vaxxer, I don't care if you get offended, you're a dickhead. It's as simple as that. But for me, I would love to start like an Alex Jones level conspiracy theory. So if you guys don't know who Alex Jones is, he's like the guy that has that viral video online where he's like, the chemicals in the water are turning all the frogs gay. He's that guy. He thinks he's got so many crazy conspiracy theories that like apparently people believe, which is crazy. There are so many dumb ones that he has. I don't have a list or any examples, but go search up Alex Jones conspiracy theories and there will be just heaps of crappy conspiracy theories that he's made up or that he subscribes to. And I want to make one just like that. Like I would like to create a conspiracy theory that was like fruit and vegetables are bad for you or something like that. Something really dumb and really obviously not true, but I guarantee people would be like, oh yeah, because like there's probably 1% or 0.0001% of a deadly chemical in a fruit or a vegetable because that's the way that things work. But people are going to be like, oh my god, there's 0.0001% mercury in my tomato. I'm going to never eat fruit and vegetables again because they're trying to poison us. All I'm going to do is eat Big Macs because Big Macs are just meat. And, I would love to watch this group rise up and genuinely believe that they aren't supposed to eat fruit and vegetables because they aren't healthy. And I think that would be awesome to see and be super funny. Great conspiracy theory if you ask me. I hope you guys are enjoying the episode so far. This is the Matty B Show, coming from Spotify, Apple, Google, Deezer, and Whooshka. If you have any questions that you would like answered on the podcast, make sure you send them in to mattybpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, The Matty B Show. Make sure to also follow me on Instagram, The Matty B Show there as well. I'd love to see the support grow. It would be great to see. But with that being said, let's head in to the rest of today's episode. Okay, question number 6. If peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called? Okay, that is just an easy one. You'd call it nut sauce. You put some nut sauce on your toast, you put some nut sauce on your sandwich, bang, solved your problem there. Nut sauce. I'm going to say it real close to the mic as well. Nut sauce. Question number 7. What would be the worst buy one, get one free sale of all time? Again, another easy one. A coffin. You don't need two. Question number 8. What rule do you wish they would introduce into your favorite sport? Now, I like this question, and I'm just going to go off of the rule that came into my mind straight away. That basketball is one of my favorite sports. It's not my number one favorite sport, but definitely top 3 at the very least. But the rule that I would love to see introduced into that sport is a 4-point line. I think that would be, awesome. Add another facet to the game. I think it would limit the game's reliance on the 3-pointer, adding another scoring aspect to the game. I think that would probably be a positive. I think definitely it would add so much more fun to the game. Can you imagine Steph Curry, Dame Lillard just bombing from 35, 40 feet out, scoring 4-pointers? That would be crazy. And can you imagine the next generation of basketball players coming in with unlimited range? And that would be awesome. I think it might seem a little bit gimmicky at first. I think definitely it would seem like a tacky thing, but guess what? Everybody thought that about the 3-point line when that was introduced as well. Everyone thought this 3-point line thing, not going to last. It's crap. It's a terrible idea. So you never know till you try. So I reckon we give it a shot, see how it goes. I think that would be dope. Really cool. And I would love to see that introduced into basketball because I think there would be some great end of game scenarios. Can you imagine, Golden State down by 4 with 3 seconds to go. Steph Curry, 4 or 5 dribbles up the court, takes a shot from half court, bangs a 4-point shot, game's tied, we're going to OT. That would be such a great spectacle to see, and I think it'd be really, really cool. And I think it would also probably encourage some better defense as well. If you're up by 4, you're no longer safe by 2 possessions. You've still got to get a stop. That would be cool. I think that'd be really interesting. Question number 9. Now this one cuts deep. What company or brand did you love until they betrayed your trust? Now this one, like I said, cuts deep. And this is the Japanese place at my university campus. They have sushi, of course, and I don't really eat the sushi there, but they also have full-on cooked meals with rice and chicken and, all of that fun stuff. And when I first started at uni, they were like for $6 or $7, and they were like proper full-on meals. And I was like, bro, this is a bargain. I'm going to, eat these till I die. And they were so good, so tasty, and I loved them, right? But over the year, they kept gradually increasing prices. So it went from, I think it was $6 to $6.99, then to $7.99, and I was like, whatever. I got them less regularly as the prices increased, but still loved them too much to completely give up. And then I come back at the beginning of this year, and I'm keen. I'm like, all right, first day back, haven't had one of these in literally months, so I'll just give it a try for old time's sake. And guess what the price is now? $9.90. This is unacceptable. It's a travesty. I've been betrayed, belittled, and bamboozled by this place at my uni. It was a staple of my first year there, and I'm quite sad to see them stitch me up like this. Have to really be diligent about whether I'm going to get one now, because they cost an arm and a leg, and I'm really disappointed about it. I hope you're listening, because please bring down the prices, and I'd really appreciate it, because I love them and I like them. Or just give me a discount or something. I'd appreciate that too. I'll give you a shout out or something. And we're up to our 10th and final question. But this 10th and final question is a special one, because it is our question for What Matters today. Welcome to What Matters, the segment where I, Matty B, am grossly unqualified to answer the important questions that you ask me. But still, I'll do it. All right. Welcome to What Matters, everyone. This is the 10th question of the day in our question-heavy podcast, but this is a real good one. And it comes in from David. Now, David, this is the first question that you've had on the podcast, so welcome. Hope you can send some more in. Really appreciate the fact that you are sending them in. Loving it. Have a good one, mate. Now, his question goes like this. Hey, Matt, liking the show so far. Keep up the good work. Awesome. Thanks, David. Appreciate the support. He continues in saying, you have mentioned that you are a university student many times on the podcast. Yes, I have. I've also mentioned it quite a few times this episode as well. So my questions are, what made you choose the uni you went to? And what is your favorite part about it? Awesome. Thanks for the question, David. Thanks for sending it in. Really appreciate it once again. If you guys want to send in any questions, that is mattybpodcast@gmail.com. So let's jump straight in to these two very good questions we've got sent in. The first question, what made you choose the uni you went to? Now, there were quite a few reasons why I chose the uni that I'm going to. I initially, as a youngin', always wanted to go to this university because it was the best university in my state. And I was like, you know what? I want to go to the best, be surrounded by the best, and hopefully one day be the best. So I'm at, that uni, well, at the uni I'm currently going to because of that, because it is, ranked so highly in comparison to the other universities in my city and in my state. So that was always the one big reason why I wanted to go there. But over time, I kind of increased my involvement with the university, even as a school student. I went through quite a few of their programs until in I think it was the early stages of grade 11, I received a scholarship for this university. Now, I've mentioned it before in my mentoring journey episode that I received that scholarship called the Young Achievers Scholarship. And that, not only gave me that support throughout high school, but it also gave me a monetary, reason to go to that university as well. So I got the scholarship there, got some extra entry ranking points to go to that university as well, and that was awesome. This university that I'd always wanted to go to was the one I got to go to, and at the same time I got paid to go there as well. So that was awesome, and that was, at the end of the day, the reason why I picked the uni that I'm currently at. I'm loving it. There's, drama around, like any university. There are some good things, there are some bad things, but overall, I'm really loving it. Really loving the experience so far, and loving my choice, which is great. Means I picked the right thing. Your second question: what is your favorite part about it? So I'm not sure whether you mean favorite part about university or favorite part about the specific campus I'm going to. So I'll do one for both. Okay. What is my favorite part about university? University as a whole, my favorite thing about it is that I get to choose what I want to do. I spent all of my time in high school, hating most of the subjects that I was doing. I was not a fan of the math that I had to do, and I felt really boxed in. Felt like I wasn't able to really express or achieve the things I wanted to achieve because I was just doing stuff I didn't like, and that took a toll on my grades, which wasn't great at the end of the day. I didn't really have any motivation to do them, particularly towards grade 11 and 12, which were the important years as it turns out, but I just didn't like what I was doing, and that sucked. But once I got to uni, I got to choose what subjects I wanted to do, when I wanted to do them, where I wanted to do them, and that was the best thing for me. It means that I get to do, finally, everything I wanted to do. I get to pick, journalism subjects when I want to, but at the same time, I could go pick a subject learning about the history of sport in Australia, or go literally pick one learning about, I don't know, Chinese or Aboriginal history or anything. I can go pick anything and do it, which is awesome, and I love that. And that's something that I look forward to, being able to do the things I want to do. And my favorite part about the campus, that is a tough one. I think the campus I go to is very beautiful. I think it's a good looking campus, but it is massive. That's probably the worst thing about it. It takes so long to get from end to end, 10, 15 minutes, depending on how, fast you walk, which is probably my least favorite thing about it, especially if you've got two classes back to back on opposite sides of the university. Not great. Gets your heart rate going, get some cardio going, but not awesome. Of course, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's a bloke doing some lawn mowing right outside my window right now. So I apologize if you can hear any background noise from this bloke and his lawnmower and whippersnipper, but luckily only the last couple of minutes of the podcast here. My favorite part about the campus is, I don't know, as a student, it's the fact that as, in particular, a journalism student, we have so many great resources. We've got like 4 or 5 radio studios, podcast booths, TV studio, all that great stuff that we need to do our jobs. But as a person living in one of the warmest cities in Australia, I love the fact that every single building is fully airconned and airconned to the max 24/7. Like, I don't think you can underestimate how important that is, especially when you have to walk from one side of the campus to the other in 35-degree heat. It's awesome to walk in from a 35-degree day to all of a sudden a nice 22-degree classroom and just relax. Honestly, super duper underrated, and I think we might take that for granted at times, but I appreciate that so much. So once again, David, thank you for the question. Now, if you guys want to send any of your own emails in, questions about anything, a story you want to tell me, anything you want me to hear or read, I would love that. Send them in to mattybpodcast@gmail.com. That would be awesome. But with that being said, that has been the show for today, guys. I know a little bit on the shorter side, but trying to preserve my voice. Hopefully, don't wake up too rough tomorrow morning, but if I do, at least you guys got a banger of an episode. Make sure you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, the Matty B Show on both of those. Make sure you follow me on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you get all of your great podcasts from. Make sure also, if the platform allows it, you leave some reviews. Would really appreciate that. Share the podcast around with your friends, with your family. Get it out there. Try and, see if there's anybody interested in a great banger podcast, because I want to grow our listenership, and that would be awesome. But with that being said, I hope you guys have had a great week. Can't wait for another banger next week. And that has been that.